You're Alice... Oh, pardon me. I'll call you Guardian, as Lady Harriet does. Greetings. My name is Elise, and I have been appointed the Sword Maiden of this era. It's a tremendous honor to meet a figure from the legend in person.
But, aren't you also a figure from the legend, Elise?
I come more from tradition than legend. In every generation, the Sword Maiden's blade and strength is passed on solely to a chosen one.
Her blade and strength, huh?
You must be tough stuff.
I don't know about that. I've never considered comparing my strength to that of others. My strength exists for one thing and one thing only. My power is meant to be used to slay the Crimson Fellworm when it returns to life one day. My sword and the power I have inherited do not manifest, except against the Fellworm. That is the nature of the legend. It is an outdated legend, fraught with burdens of obligation. Yet, I cannot make light of it. I cannot be separated from our unbroken history. As the nation tilts this way and that, my blood relatives fall like so many flies before my very eyes. Yet, I still cannot wield my strength.
I can only imagine how painful that must be.
But it is my duty. For I am the last line of defense against the inevitable return of the Fellworm. No matter how painful or miserable it may be at times, I have never once resented it. That's how beings of legend operate, isn't it, Guardian?
Cuento Castle and its pretender king were no more. In light of this, Harriet's first act was to proclaim that the capital would be relocated. With the royal capital in chaos following the castle's collapse, she established a provisional capital in a neighboring fortress city. As the people went about the process of relocating, one issue remained unresolved: the lack of a royal heir. There was only one woman with a claim to the throne, and she continually refused to accept it.
Harriet, you look...
It's too soon for me to take the throne. Please, Luther, take my place.
No, this is your job. For one thing, my claim to the throne was stripped away. A fact that is very much public knowledge. To deny the people an heir would be to disappoint them in their hour of need. Harriet, it is your duty to bear the weight of the crown.
Must I? Really?
It'll be okay.
That is most reassuring to hear from you, Guardian. But...
Harriet's pretty young. Don't you think it's a little too soon to give her that kind of responsibility?
There is no such thing as too soon or too late in matters of royal succession. Suitability is all that matters. Ys Artia to the east has a young child as their head of state and national symbol. Epic to the west has a divine queen who acceded to the throne at 17. No older than you. Age is irrelevant. What matters is whether the would-be ruler has the resolve to devote themselves to their country. I have no such resolve. That's why I erred so grievously in my self-righteous research, and why I was stripped of my claim to the throne. But you, Harriet, you have that resolve, my sister.
Luther... Guardian... Very well. In the name of my royal line, I, Harriet Renata Reina Cuento, do hereby humbly accede to the throne. Guardian, I beseech you, illuminate our way and support us in our hour of need.
Ah, Lady Harriet, should you be walking around this humble place?
Mind your manners. I think you meant to say, Your Majesty?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lady Harriet is our ruler now.
What did I just say?
I'm still just barely getting on my feet as a ruler, so feel free to keep calling me Harriet.
Lady Harriet! Lady Harriet! What's a ruler?
Well, a ruler is somebody who represents everybody in the land.
Are they big and important?
No, they're not big or important. They're the same as everybody else, just a little higher profile.
Ooh, are you a show-off, Lady Harriet?
Well, yes, I am a show-off. I'd be embarrassed to do it all by myself, so I hope you'll all be there to support me.
Totally! Yeah! Yeah!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet! All these people flocking to her. They must really love her.
I wouldn't quite call it love. Prime Minister Lutz, that is, the former king, burdened the people considerably to maintain our national prestige. The people are excited to be liberated from those burdens, and they have high hopes for the next regime, as I see it. That and I've often snuck out into town since I was a young girl, so people tend to know my face. They know my character as a politician. It is a relief to them. That is why they support me, and why I must live up to their expectations. This is the first step towards restoring our kingdom. Making the people happy is a king's most basic duty. And while I work to earn the trust people place in me, I have more duties besides. Luther and I still have a goal: to seal away ephemera for good.
I have a status report about the Quenta Royal Army. They are transitioning peacefully to the new regime. Some forces have left the military to become mercenaries or bandits, but not in any large numbers.
However, there are still castrum demonicas in the land. They will persist even if their summoners perish. They are not weapons that will simply fade away. We must continue destroying them. I hate to place this burden upon you, Guardian, but please aid us in this.
You can count on me.
If only it were in power to control a Buster Tower, I would gladly assist.
We're searching for more people capable of using Buster Towers, but so far we have no prospects. Surprising no one, I'm sure. Castrum Demonicas are born from the use of ephemera. Destroying them requires power on the same level. For the Guardian to activate a Buster Tower without ephemera shows their power is easily on par with that of ephemera.
I'm not sure I care for your tone.
I meant nothing by it. I was simply stating the truth. If the truth bothers you, perhaps there's something weighing on your conscience.
You love deflecting, don't you? How about a simple thank you for once?
I think the fact that I don't even remotely question your background would show gratitude aplenty. Is that not enough for you?
Oh, forget it!
In addition, we've been investigating Lutz's followers to gauge their intentions. But so far, we haven't come up with many red flags. In fact, most of them seem grateful you've ascended to the throne, Lady Harriet.
My uncle held things to his own personal standards, and often made unreasonable demands. He was already getting backlash as it was.
Does that mean everyone's going to be happy with Harriet's revolution?
No, I doubt things will go so smoothly. In a struggle for the throne, one must follow the victor, at least on the surface. Cuento isn't a monolithic entity. There are others besides Lutz who extolled the virtues of ephemera. I'm sure such people will pay lip service to our ideals, while secretly awaiting an opportunity to strike and overthrow the royal family. Which is why we must never let ourselves be seen as vulnerable. Thank you for your report. Keep up the good work.
Chapter 2: Destruction and Struggle.
With Harriet taking on the role of ruler of the magical kingdom of Cuento, the land was once again on the road to peace. But Harriet's objective was more than simply sitting upon the throne. The newly reborn Cuento was mobilizing with the intent of eradicating ephemera, the insidious flower eroding the world. Let us begin by reviewing the status of our neighboring lands. Varuna, if you would, please.
Our continent is split into 4 separate cardinal nations. To the east lies the Trade Federation of East Artia. Built by merchants, it leverages its rich soil and abundant resources to do business.
Their sorcery specialty is replication. They harness the power of ephemera to reproduce things in large quantities. It seems harmless enough at face value, but if ephemera is involved, there's almost certain to be a catch.
To the west lies the divine land of Epic. Built around an oasis, seekers of enlightenment gather there to undergo rigorous ascetic training.
Rumor has it that in Epic, they've perfected a means of refining mind control potions, using ephemera, of course.
To the north lies the Weyland Empire. It's a nation of warriors that crowned their strongest citizens emperor for generations.
It's a land of savagery where might makes right. They've devised a means of body enhancement called demonization.
And in the south is our nation, the magical kingdom of Cuento. We live in harmony with nature and find practical applications for mana.
Our land focuses strictly on studies of the arcane. The castrum demonica I developed started out as Quinto's specialty. Of course, someone leaked the art of summoning castrums to other lands, so now all nations field them in battle.
The castrum demonicas within Cuento are on their way out, thanks to the efforts of our esteemed guardian. However, the castrum demonicas of other lands remain standing, physically demarcating their borders.
The castrum demonicas of each land are in a standoff with one another, putting a hard stop to most international relations. Ergo, we have no way of knowing what the reality is on the ground of any other nation. If anyone tried to cross a border without permission, the castrum demonicas would activate and mobilize to exterminate the intruders. Not that anyone would be stupid enough to try, anyway.
I have a report. A castrum demonica on the Weyland border has activated. Someone appears to have approached.
Well, what do you know? I stand corrected.
It could be an envoy from Weyland. Let us make haste to the border. The Guardian and their entourage received a report of a castrum demonica activation and made for a Cuento-Weyland border. At that point in time, only a single figure stood against the castrum demonica on the border. One figure alone, a solitary warrior who fought ceaselessly, waiting for the clock to strike the appointed hour. Quento is just past here. I can't give up now. Ah! Is my power simply not enough?
We can talk later. Stand down and let us handle this, please.
My apologies, and thank you.
Enemy forces attacking! Defend the Buster Towers! Mana readings are increasing! Watch out for self-destructing enemies! Escorted to destroy the Arch Demonica!
You felled a castrum demonica. You must be the legendary savior. Pardon me, the guardian. You know of them? The name of the guardian, savior of Cuento, is not unknown in Weyland. Allow me to thank you again. I am Melfonsina.
Melfonsina!
Does my name have some significance?
Sorry, it's also my friend's name.
Really? If you say so.
She seems to be telling the truth. I guess we can puzzle over that later.
And what would drive a citizen of Weyland to such folly as standing alone against a castrum demonica to come here?
I have come to Cuento in search of the Guardian, the savior hero. Please, deliver Weyland from the doom that it courts.
Are the grunts done crawling out of the woodwork yet?
There's more! If they get past us! The children! It's no use! They just keep coming! We gotta retreat before they eat us!
Screw retreating! Remember what's behind us, you bunch of pansies!
You're right.
We were already doomed, so don't start bidding for your lives now. Let's at least take some of them with us!
Talk about arriving in the nick of time. Good thing we rushed straight here.
Sina, who are they?
Easy there, Get 'em Holt. They're on our side.
Get him, Holt!
Does something about his name bother you?
Oh, nope, not at all. Don't mind me. We can work it out later. For now, let's do something about this. There are castrum demonicas in Weyland territory as well. Luther was right. They're all over the world.
Hey, Sina. Who are these noobs?
Wow, we're noobs to you? Is that any way to talk about people who rushed to your rescue?
I don't remember asking for it.
Get 'em Holt! I'm sorry about this. He gets so hung up on posturing.
This country's called Weyland, right? What's going on here?
What, the fight wasn't enough of a tip-off? We're at war, girlie.
At war? With whom?
Everyone and no one. Everybody around us is an enemy. Duh. Death to the weak, life to the strong. That's how things work here in Weyland. If you want to know what's going on in our country, how about you come with me?
Is this a village?
I wouldn't even call it that. It's just a gathering point for survivors.
Hey, Get 'em Holt! Thanks for earlier!
Whatever. You were pissing yourself earlier. Do me a favor and drop dead. We'll have fewer mouths to feed that way.
You're a real smooth talker, Get 'em Holt!
Like you just heard, we ain't even got enough rations to get through tomorrow. It's this bad all over Weyland.
Hey, get him, Holt! Can't believe you're still alive!
And I can't believe you're still mouthing off, brat. Would it kill you to show me some gratitude for protecting your ass?
I never asked for your protection anyway! Now who does this remind you of? Hey, don't give me that look! I was just pointing out a fact! Malfonsina, my dad isn't back. He went out with everybody else.
Your father has gone very far away for the good of everybody here.
It's okay, Malfonsina. I know how this works. He's not coming back, is he?
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't cry. I'm in the same boat. Look, I'll grow big and super strong and slay the Emperor.
But what if the Emperor killed you instead? I would hate that.
I won't lose. No way in hell. That Emperor's as good as dead.
Ah, nice try, kiddo. But only one guy's gonna waste that damn Emperor, and it's gonna be me. Don't you kids worry about that. Just live your lives. Now go on. Back to the settlement with you.
This settlement took me and Gedimholt in. We want to protect them, but Castrum Demonicas are implacable foes, and our casualties keep rising. We should be okay for the time being with the nearest Castrum Demonica destroyed, but...
They're gonna make grabby hands again eventually. The only permanent solution is often the Emperor. I'll destroy the Castrums and Fiend Troopers, pound that godforsaken Emperor into mush, and put an end to this lousy country for good.
You might be thrown off by his violent language and compensation, but what he means to say is that he wants to bring peace to the land.
You've been in a prolonged civil war, right? Anyone else tried to overthrow the Emperor?
Oh, certainly. And the current Emperor has slain every last one of them. He became the Emperor by being stronger than anyone else. Now all he wants is conflict against the strong. Nothing else matters to him. Whether the people suffer or the nation falls in the process is of no consequence.
He's just starting fights over and over again. Why would he do something so pointless?
I think I've heard enough.
I couldn't agree more. It would be just awful if nobody stopped this guy. Plus, there's no question at this point that the influence of ephemera, more specifically F-factors, is present in this land. It's ARC's duty to deal with Falspawn. We'll rise to the occasion.
Meanwhile, in the Weyland Empire's imperial capital, Emperor Schreger and his brother, Elmir, stood by quietly, listening to tidings from the field of Castrum Demonica's corruption.
Looks like we finally got someone who can crush a Castrum Demonica, brother. Spreading rumors has paid off. Now the ignorant masses will rally under a nice, friendly banner. There's been a lull in Castrum Demonica and Fiend Trooper skirmishes as of late anyway. I hope this serves to get your blood flowing.
How strong is this so-called Guardian?
Now, dear brother. You can't just wolf them down right off the bat. Give them a little free-range roaming if you really want those flavors to develop.
You think you can tell an emperor what to do? You're getting arrogant. No matter. Do as you will.
In that case, I think I'll pop in and say hello.
Guardian, just how powerful are you? I eagerly await the thrill of our inevitable clash. May war spread far and wide. The land, the people, ephemera. Everything in this world is an offering to us.
I see. It's apparent that investigating that world is going to take quite a bit of time.
First Luther, now get him home. It feels like anything goes on Omega. First, we stopped the chaos in one country, and now we're at war in another. There's never a dull moment.
The history of man is a history of war. Even the history of Arcs has been a long battle against the false spawn.
You call this relatively peaceful, but war continues to rage. Is it the same for all worlds?
This stuff happens all over. Maybe that's why it's following the same pattern in Omega.
Shell, what's happening on this side?
The black hole is continuing to expand, and it's begun to engulf neighboring galaxies. Its expansion velocity is highly abnormal. It's hard to be optimistic about this situation.
Fall spawn readings in the city area. They just showed up out of nowhere.
Scramble all ARCS personnel. This shouldn't happen. Dispatch them for suppression, but have them exercise extreme caution.
We have to help them.
Chapter 2, Omega's Influence.
Emergency! Code due! Completed!
You're finished! Is that the last of them? Is it just me? Or were the enemies today stronger than usual?
I'm fairly certain something tells me that you're probably on the money.
Huh? Risa?
Yup, that's me! It's not every day the happy guardian couple scrambles together. This must have been a real spicy one.
We just happened to be on the bridge at the time. What did you mean when you said I was on the money?
The baddies! In a word, they got tougher. In 2 words, they got rougher tougher. I know, 'cause I'm always blasting and shooting and trashing and blowing those foul spawn away. The ones that just appeared are special. They're clearly tougher and badder and way crazier than the false spawn we've been dealing with. Oh, and the intruder alert was like super late in letting us know, don't you think? It's almost like nobody even expected them to pop up.
Risa, do you know something about this?
I have no idea what happened. The baddies showed up abnormally, and they were abnormally strong. That's all I know. Okay. I'm gonna go play with some more of these rare, stronger false spawn variants. See ya!
Looks like the situation's under control. Would you mind coming back to the bridge?
Welcome back, you two. You did a good job of minimizing damage.
But Xiao, those false spawn that showed up,
I've compiled data on them. From the readouts alone, it's apparent that the false spawn have been enhanced.
the question is how?
Is it Omega's influence?
It's hard to say for sure, but that's the best conjecture we've got as it stands.
My calculations are drawing a clear correlation between the black hole's expansion and the false spawn's enhancement.
What if the profound darkness is devouring whatever the black hole absorbs? Is that too straightforward?
If the profound darkness is connected to the black hole itself, it's not out of the question. The profound darkness corrupts all things. Its behavior wouldn't change no matter what it was dealing with.
So it's basically feeding off the things the black hole absorbs to buff itself up. And those effects are spilling over to its minions, the false spawn? Oh gosh, this is sounding worse by the second.
The black hole is absorbing a massive amount of energy. Sooner or later, it will be beyond our power to fight.
So we gotta do something about Omega before that happens, right?
Chapter 2: Elders' Rebellion.
I've got a general grasp of the geography and political situation in this country. Going by the prolonged state of war here, the Emperor of Weyland is probably under the influence of ephemera. Which in turn means that if we stop the Emperor, we can set things right. Let's do it!
Hey, Guardian or whatever. Where do you think you're going without even saying goodbye? If you're gonna off that thrice-damned Emperor, count me in.
Allow me to join you as well. It was I that invited you here. I can be your guide. And shield, if need be.
I don't think they're gonna take no for an answer. What's the plan?
Watch your own backs.
Ha! I always do.
Gedamholt and Melfincina were Weylandians in this land, journeying alongside the Guardian. While they had assembled a robust party, it was not a particularly sociable group.
Hey, Gedamholt! We're resting right now. Would you like to talk about anything?
Piss off. I've got nothing to talk about.
Now come on, Gedamholt. Sorry, acting standoffish and crude comes as naturally to him as breathing air.
Oh, that wasn't how I saw it at all. I must say, you two get along pretty well. What kind of relationship do you have?
Well,
Sina and I are both Fiend Trooper test subjects.
You're... what now?
Just as Cuento used ephemera to devise the Castrum Demonica summit, Weyland has its own brand of sorcery. It's called demonization. It's a form of sorcery that enhances the body by infusing it with mana. I'm sure it won't surprise you to know that only a tiny fraction of the population, those most gifted at sorcery, were capable of doing it. But the situation has changed with the discovery of ephemera. With a little help from ephemera, suddenly anything was fair game, as long as anyone had any aptitude for sorcery whatsoever. Naturally, those without a knack for sorcery still vastly outnumber those with a gift for it. That's when the Fiend Trooper project was launched by Imperial decree.
It was His Imperial Majesty's generous way of turning useless, untalented trash into powerful warriors. And that dreamweed ephemera, or whatever it's called, gave him just what he wished for.
So basically, this meant forcibly demonizing people with no aptitude for magic? Assumedly by tampering with their bodies?
Well, I'll be damned. The little squirt knows how to play connect the dots. You got experience with this stuff or something?
Well, I also know that bodies can't withstand that sort of tampering.
Oh, you got that right, Squirt. You're connecting the dots because you've seen the whole picture before, huh? But I bet you ain't seen anyone get so pumped full of mana that they burst. People burst in all kinds of fun ways, let me tell you.
Gedamholt and I were test subjects in Phase 1 of the Fiend Trooper project. We escaped the facility. Out of the 4,096 initial test subjects, we are the only survivors. As far as we know, the rest are all dead.
Wait a minute! If your strength is derived from demonization, wouldn't using it put your lives in danger?
Ha! I've been futzed with enough as it is. Not like my life's good for anything anyway. All I care about is the Emperor. I'm gonna end him. Personally. Sina and I will get him back for all the people who got screwed up because of him. He'll pay with his worthless life. Hey, Guardian. You'd better not give me some goody two-shoes speech about life being precious, or whatever. We're both in this to snuff out the Emperor, right? I'm willing to use you and all, but if you stand between me and him, I'll waste you first.
Crude though his words may be, he and I are on the same page in this matter. My life is dedicated to avenging the people murdered for his bloody whims. That thought is what keeps me going. So I'm here to fight, just like Gedamholt. To kill the Emperor.
Something wrong?
Sorry. I was a little distracted there. There's so much to think about. That talk about fiend troopers is eerily reminiscent of how the Photoners created arcs. They captured physically sturdy primitive races and effectively grafted photon manipulation powers onto them via infusion and gene splicing. The casualties they sacrificed before reaching the point of stable mass production is a matter of record. It's utterly despicable. If that's being repeated, even in Omega, it must be stopped.
The Guardian, Gedamholt, and Melfancina made their way toward the Imperial capital, demolishing Castrum Demonicas along their way. The Castrum Demonica was originally Cuento technology, but they were laid out across Weyland with as much precision as in Cuento. Given how deeply ingrained the Castrum Demonicas were, the Guardian and company began to question the true nature of their history.
I don't get it. I thought Castrum Demonicas were a Cuento invention, yet there's so many in Weyland.
That's because once the technology was leaked, the Emperor decreed that they be summoned in all regions.
Sounds like the Emperor of Weyland is pretty familiar with sorcery and stuff.
He clawed his way to the throne with demonization. So he's a capable sorcerer in his own right, but...
It ain't that blasted Emperor summoning Castrum Demonicas. It's Elmir.
Who's Elmir?
It's the damnable Emperor's used tissue of a kid brother. Cocky little snot. They looked far enough apart age-wise that they might as well be father and son.
It's clear that Weyland has hit rock bottom as a result of the Emperor and Elmir both.
Rock bottom? How rude! We simply breathed some life into a listless land.
Elmir? What are you doing here?
I heard someone was breaking my finely crafted Castrum Demonicas, so I came out here to do a little field survey, as it were. You're the one I'm here to see. The Guardian that alighted upon Cuento. Yes, very interesting. I can sense incredible potential from you. Small wonder you can crush Castrum Demonicas. Between the Castrum Demonicas and Guardian, I must say, Cuento never fails to put out quality products.
You think you can just waltz out here? You got guts, Imperial baby brother!
My goodness, you're a loud one. I'm not interested in you, test subject. Would you mind staying out of this?
No beef with me? Too bad! You're still getting the horns! What?
If you're spoiling for a fight, you can play with your fellow defective fiend troopers for a bit.
No. It can't be them. They should be dead.
You catch on quickly. I suppose that's why you're a test subject. Call them Castrum Demonica Fiend Trooper hybrids, if you will.
Did you swap out the monsters summoned by Castrum Demonica for fiend troopers?
Precisely. After all, I had plenty of material to work with. They're all lacking in ability, but they make for acceptable enough soldiers. I owe it to them to make proper use of them. Otherwise, they'd die in vain. And wouldn't that be sad?
This is beyond the pale!
Shut your filthy mouth, you little shit stain! You think you can mess with us? I'm gonna murder you and that bastard Emperor!
My, How spirited. Go ahead. Trample the corpses of your friends to reach us.
Stay down! All enemy readings are gone. And so is Elmir.
Then we're done here. Come on. We got a goddamn emperor to kill.
What? Aren't you going to pay your respects?
I ain't got time to waste on...
Get him, Holt!
You need some rest.
That's a good one. Like rest would do anything for this.
Our bodies are badly deteriorated from the Fiend Trooper experiments we endured. We have no time to waste at all.
But if you strain yourself in that condition...
We can deal. Our lives are a small price to pay. It ain't about how long your life is. It's what you do with it that matters. I ain't gonna do nothing like the ones we just mowed down. I'm gonna slay that damn Emperor myself!
While the sentiment is appreciated, I'm with Gedem Holt on this. That, and... we wouldn't even know who we were mourning. I wouldn't want to associate them with... this.
They're both beside themselves with anger. Even I can tell. We can't allow this cruelty to go unchecked. We have to put a stop to it.
You're back, Elmir. You look like you had an amusing enough time.
Oh, amusing doesn't begin to cover it. I'm positively thrilled at how rapidly things are progressing. It's even better than I imagined. We'll have a prime specimen by the time it arrives.
Then we must be amply prepared to give them a fitting reception. So long now I've been trapped in languor, but now my blood is pumping again.
Then I'll leave you to it. brother.
The Castrum Demonicas were summoned the realm over and loaded with a superhuman vanguard. The Guardians group pressed onward, refusing to be cowed by the vanguard's howls of resentment. When they reached the Imperial capital, they found it cloaked in eerie stillness, almost as though it was devoid of all life. It was fitting indeed that the only one to reside there was the Emperor himself. Schreger, Emperor of Weyland, awaited the coming of his nemesis, alone in the silence.
You're here.
Are you the Weyland Emperor?
Indeed I am. Schreger, Emperor of Weyland. I must thank you for coming, Guardian.
Oh, he finally meets you, you cursed Emperor!
You will pay dearly for toying not only with people's lives, but with a whole nation!
Toying with a nation? I'm Emperor. It's my nation. To toy with as I please. If you don't like it, strike me down. That's what I empowered you for. Isn't that right, test subjects?
What's the point of giving someone power through modifications they don't even want?
Without power, one's fate is to perish. Might makes right in this world. Period. The weak can only submit to this reality. Surely you've lived long enough to grasp that. Right, Guardian? You didn't get this strong without trampling countless corpses underfoot. Whether man or beast, there is no morality in slaughter. All fall the same. Might makes right. That's the one universal truth of the world. Which is why Weyland has long focused on evolving its people with strength transcendent. Now it comes to a head! We have but to push this war across the world and seize even greater might. No further discussion is necessary. Strike me down with your justice! If you think you can!
A false Unol, and it's got false spawn with it. Is it the ephemera? No, the details are too accurate for this to be a coincidence. Now there's no question that ephemera is part of the profound darkness.
Ah, hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about! So much for any moral ambiguity. Slay the monster, and we win. Monster eats us, and we lose. That's good enough for me!
Schreger, Emperor of Weyland, I will use the last of my life to end yours!
Completed!
What foolishness! My power's been dispersed? No. Has it been consumed? Now I see, Guardian. Your power is strange indeed. But that makes it all the more worthwhile to take! To fall at the hands of the test subjects, the ones I wrote off as defects. This is truly a most amusing twist.
Get him, Halt!
Is that it? Is that really how you're gonna go out? With a whimper? Are you content with that? You miserable despot! With being cut down by someone stronger than you? Is that really all you wanted?
Let's go. Get him, Halt. The Emperor may be dead, but our battle is far from over.
I am far from finished. I will leave a wedge in this world.
Get him up!
Cena! You okay?
Yes, I'm just fine. This body's quite responsive, actually.
What the...
This wasn't the body I was trying to snatch, but it's surprisingly nice. It will suffice for a temporary vessel.
Are you Shrieger?
Indeed I am. Infusing oneself in another's body to snatch it is the ultimate essence of demonization. A vessel has no need of two souls. The weaker soul will vanish, and the stronger will remain. You can do the math, I'm sure.
You're telling me Cena's gone? Bullshit!
You move well for someone mortally wounded. But I can tell you have minutes at most left.
Damn it!
Did you have feelings for this body? Content yourself in death, knowing that you amused me to the last.
Bullshit! This body ain't yours to...
No, you're hurting yourself talking!
Leave this failure to die and let's enjoy a fight again, shall we, Guardian? We'll find far different from my previous battered body. What's wrong? You don't have the heart to cut this body down? Then you shall perish, for absolute justice lies with the victor. Ah! What the? My body's not obeying me!
Cena!
Get him, Halt! Guardian! I don't want this! I beg of you, kill me! And the Emperor!
No.
damnable wench still persists. Not for much longer.
Get him, Holt!
What? You should be dead! How dare you!
Maybe I should be. But I got my pride. I ain't gonna drop dead before Cena gets what she asked for!
Get him, Holt! What are you doing?
I hate to say it, but I ain't in no shape to slay the Emperor. But I can give you my power. Let my soul empower you! Maybe that's a dick move to pull, but screw doing nothing. Screw dying with my thumbs up my ass! Here goes! Cena's not gonna like it, but too bad! Man, first Elder eats me, now I'm friggin' guardian food? Oh, ain't karma a bitch. I always got the impression you smelled like me, ever since I first ran into you on Nefarious. Turns out it was 'cause you assimilated me. I ain't even gonna question it at this point. It's all just random Akashic Records crap anyway. No point in trying to puzzle it out. Go on, take it. You could use Elder's power right about now. And save her. Show me that chicken shit way you operate.
Get him, Holt's photons just went into you? These are Elder readings? It's you in there, right? But your form, it's just like Elder's.
You've attained power to rival mine? Now you're a worthy opponent!
Guardian, it all comes down to a one-on-one duel between us!
We entrust our wills to you!
Give him hell with everything you've got!
Such overwhelming might, Guardian. No, you had a hand in it as well. Test subjects. You fought well. I accept defeat.
Are you okay?
Any idea what that was?
No idea at all. The readings were identical to those of Dark Falls Elder, but... Oh, right! Malfonsina!
Hey, I'm calling in my favor now. Hey, Cena. We look like a regular pair of dumbasses, huh?
We sure do, Holt. Instead of shielding you, I let myself get used against you. I must have looked real stupid.
Well, it's done with now.
This meddler made sure of that.
Yes, I saw. The Guardian always delivers, I suppose. Thank you. Truly. It's been a long road.
You're damn right about that.
I'm kinda tired. Nobody will mind if I take a little rest, will they?
They don't get to whine when they rest first.
Then I think I'm gonna rest.
Sure.
I'll see you around. Get 'em halt.
See you around, Sina. This is the end for us. The end for memories of a wrecked construct, Sina. And a dead guy. But it ain't your final chapter. You got a crap ton of stuff left to do.
Ephemera and the Castrum Demonicas, the insidious roots that erode this world. There should still be plenty of Castrum Demonicas left within Weyland's borders. We have to get rid of them. We owe it to those two.
Yeah.
I've reviewed your physical exam data. There are no particular signs of abnormalities. I nearly panicked when I heard you took on Elder's form, but the numbers are surprisingly stable. Since this, let's call it fall formation, uses F factors, it's actually reassuring.
So, if we could just analyze how it works and apply it broadly.
What's puzzling to me is how you got that ability to start with.
I know what you mean.
Let's focus on the situation in Omega and leave the power study for further analysis later.
What I'm getting out of your report is that you basically rolled up and bowled over the Castrum Demonicus and the Emperor. Kind of a flippant way of putting it. Isn't that like a huge deal? Am I off base here?
You're not off base at all, Alma. Our friend here's a real freak, no matter how you slice it.
Hey, that's not true. They're perfectly normal.
Just by the way, Matoy, you fall into the same category.
Rude? Anyway, what would they say about Alma then? Hey, I'm no good at fighting. Claris Crace was way better at it than me.
What do you call sealing Elder in a planet if not freakish? Was that Claris Craze doing?
Actually, that one was me. We kept beating him and he just kept coming back. We had to lock him down somehow. That whole setup was something I just came up with spur of the moment. Good thing it worked out, huh?
Well, the verdict is in. All three of you are freaks.
Back to the matter at hand. What's going on with the black hole?
Around the same time we got your port, the hole's expansion velocity started abating.
Yep, it felt easier getting you two out this time too.
You're producing results, both numerically and intuitively speaking.
Great! Then we just gotta keep it up in Omega.
It's good you're both in high spirits. Just don't push yourselves too hard.
Are you worried about something?
It's not that I'm worried. It's more that I'm concerned about something. When I'm manipulating photons with Alma's assistance, I get this feeling. It's a strange feeling. It's not like any of you, or like Fullspawn. It's like I have a strange degree of control.
I can't help you there, unfortunately. But if that's the vibe she's getting as the second, it can't be anything good. It's probably something we can't fathom.
The appearance of false Hunal defied our expectations, as did your newfound ability to call upon Dark Falls' power. Whatever you do, watch yourselves. If you two don't make it, neither will the rest of us.
He's right. If you push yourselves too hard, the second will pass out in fright. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. But really, be careful out there. Hey, look at that! Those are Falspawn! The ones that showed up in our fight against Schrager!
I made sure you got Elder's power, but it looks like his Falspawn minions split off and stuck around. We're in the Akashic records, but they're still like the ones on the outside. You better waste them all now, or it'll bite you in the ass later.
We have ample data on these, but there's still a lot of them. Be careful fighting them. Spawn coming from Castrum Demonicas. Ephemera or no, this is really demanding our full attention now.
Oh my, I was wondering who broke the Castrum Demonica. Of course it was you two. If you're out here, does that mean my brother lost? Oh, that was quicker than expected.
It's you!
Oh, relax. I'm not about to start spouting drivel about avenging family. You only dispersed him, anyway. He'll reassemble sooner or later.
Who are you? What are you after?
Oh, my brother didn't spell it out? I want war. Everywhere. At any rate, do you have time to bother with me, Guardian? I should think there's trouble in Quento by now. I suggest you get back quickly if you want to save the world. Adieu for now.
Wait! I hate when the enemy is right, but this is concerning. We'd better get back to Harriet and the others.
All units have deployed, Your Highness.
Good, thank you.
How remarkable that this should happen while the Guardian is away. Luck seems to be against us, and perhaps it had help.
Put your fears to rest. Moments like this are the very purpose of a Sword Maiden's life.
Your hands betray you, Sword Maiden. You needn't put on a brave face for us.
I admit I doubted this would happen in my lifetime. I hoped it would never be necessary to unleash this power. But the time has come. All I can do is devote all of my being, all of my power, to my blade.
I certainly would have preferred to have Guardian here at our side.
If wishes could fight a battle, we'd have already won. Listen, here it comes.
Crimson Fellworm.
Fascinating. Perhaps we should take those legends of how it destroyed the world more seriously.
Phosphorescence! It's going to breathe fire! Raise a barrier!
No need. My blade speaks. It says to lay the beast low, to seal it away. My body is a vessel for that purpose. I'll end this quickly. All of you, stay out of it!
Crimson Fellworm versus the Sword Maiden. Both are simply extraordinary.
All of you, keep that barrier up! The Maiden may be handling things, but we can't let the Fellworm get away!
Is something the matter, Harriet?
I don't know why, but when I look at that Fellworm, I'm filled with dread.
Does it now? I see.
It's over, Crimson Fellworm. This is no place for you. Go now and sleep quietly, deep beneath the earth.
Bravo! Splendid work, Sword Maiden. Seems the Crimson Fellworm was hardly a match for you after all. Or so I'd say. But wait, there's more. Look where you stand, on the grave of a man who sought power and fame, crumbled with his castle, who now lies among the ephemera. A thwarted soul, burning with chagrin, with rage. What do you think it would do if it found a vessel?
Police! Watch out!
My blade's seal. It's not working. There's some other power here.
Sword Maiden! Filthy traitor!
That voice!
Lutz! Is his soul inside the Crimson Fellworm?
Unforgivable! Unforgivable! All you can defy me. Taste my power and die!
Guardian! Thank goodness! You've come back for us!
Guardian, I'll burn you away with all the others!
Is that the Crimson Fellworm? But what's this orb?
Well spotted, Fairy. Lutz's soul is in the beast now. All thanks to the ephemera's power. The Sword Maiden's power was enough to seal the Crimson Fellworm itself. But the ephemera draw from a different source. hence the seal's failure.
So it's a being that once wrecked the world, mixed with a force that's terrorizing it now? Now, that's just over the top. But if Elise can't seal it away, what are we supposed to do?
We'll just have to kill it. Let's see how mighty the Fellworm is when it's been massacred into tiny particles. I'll set your soul free, Uncle.
Let me take care of this.
No, I have to seal it away. I can't watch my uncle suffer like this.
Listen, Guardian. You too, Sword Maiden. There happens to be a way we can strip it of the Ephemera's power. One way and one only.
Luther, you don't mean...
Guardian, take the Fellworm out of action. Sword Maiden, you prepare the seal and provide cover. After that, I'll take care of the rest.
What is it you're planning on doing?
Something only an expert on ephemera could do. That's all. There's no time to explain. Get moving!
Guardian, fall back! My blade, be thou chains of sunlight. Ward off calamity and bind this skulking evil. Benoit! It's not working. Some other power is resisting the bind.
So, trying to heal damaged flesh through summoning and implant a soul. What a miserable joke. I'm the one who invented that technique. You're using research I already scrapped!
Here's where you belong! Not writhing around in that crimson fellworm! Making me laugh. Whoever, or whatever you are, the only one fit to handle this technique is me! None of you. None of you are even worthy of being a subject for it!
Luther! Will the seal hold?
No, it is imperfect. My blade tells me. The best we can hope for is that we've bought some time. We'll only have a short respite before the Crimson Fellworm reappears. That's our opportunity to defeat the Fellworm for good and free my poor uncle's soul.
Luther!
Harriet, it's all right. I'm fine.
What did you do, Luther?
I only disrupted the process of summoning new flesh to regenerate the Fellworm. The beast's own power still remains. Someone who was using ephemera to strengthen it too. We need to approach it carefully, or suffer the consequences.
Right.
Not a shred of hesitation. I suppose that's what makes you the Guardian. I'm exhausted. Let me rest for a spell.
So, the Crimson Fellworm's finally back.
I apologize for being so helpless and leaving all of this in your hands, Guardian.
This isn't the time to worry about something like that, Elise. Let's go over the plan instead.
I form a barrier to hold the Crimson Fellworm down, and prepare to seal it once more. It will not be able to move as quickly within the barrier. I need you to take advantage of that and defeat it. This is the Laconium Sword, the blade that pierced the scales of the Crimson Fellworm of legend. I entrust this blade to you, Guardian. Within the barrier, it can duplicate itself to aid you in your fight. The Crimson Fellworm's scales are constantly shifting to hide its scars. However, inside the barrier, you should be able to locate an area of weakness. If you strike that weak point with the Laconium Sword and cut away its scales, its scars will be revealed.
In other words, if we expose the scars and then focus our attacks there...
Correct. You'll be able to defeat the horrid beast. Once it's weakened, we should be able to free the soul inside, even without sealing the Fellworm. It's my honor to fight alongside you, Guardian.
We've got opposition from supernaturals. Slay them all and engage with the Crimson Menace.
Code belongs to me!
Now, I fulfill thy pact, my blade. Crimson Fellworm, sleep in the depths of the ground forever! Uncle.
Please. All the suffering I've caused you. What have I done? To my king, to Luther, and Harriet, to the people of Coento. My regret knows no bounds. How long have I been trapped in this horrible, unending vision? This nightmare, whose dawn would not come. Until you woke me from it at last, Alice. And you, Guardian. You will always have my utmost gratitude for setting me free.
A never-ending nightmare! Was Lutz being manipulated by someone?
At this point, I've not the faintest idea. But at least my uncle's soul is finally free from the Crimson Fellworm. He can be at peace at last. I cannot thank you enough for finally ending his torment. However, the Crimson Fellworm has not been banished completely. My blade confirms this. If it was revived with the power of the ephemera, then as long as that power exists, it could be revived again at any time. I will continue to stand watch here. I imagine it's the best way I can take responsibility for what has happened.
Elise, please don't push yourself.
I know. My power alone amounts to little after all. And more importantly, I know I have a shoulder to lean on. In you, Guardian.
Xiao, are you sure this new power is safe?
I didn't pin you for such a worrier, Matoi. Like I said, there's no sign that anything's wrong. All their readings are completely normal. There's no indication they've absorbed too much of the F factor or anything like that. It's nothing at all like becoming the profound darkness. You could even say it's the opposite. But why don't we just ask you? How do you feel? Anything out of the ordinary?
Come on. Can you not see what a mess you'll make if you run your mouth now? Keep your damn trap shut.
Using this power you took without completely absorbing it to manifest a Dark Falls and use it to fight. It's a lot like Avatar arms.
I've never seen a power manifest like that. Why now all of a sudden?
Logically speaking, I bet it has something to do with the ephemera. Maybe that interacted with the Guardian's photons to create some new power? But aren't the ephemera themselves like fragments of the profound darkness? How could something like that give you power?
Sierra, who do you think is the host of the profound darkness right now?
Oh. Maybe that's why I don't sense anything off about you.
I think I agree with Matoi. Your photons are flowing normally after all. Do you feel all right?
I'm not surprised that Matoi is worried, really. We'll keep digging running checks, but for now, I'm just glad you're doing all right.
After a bitter struggle, the Guardian had wrested Weyland from the bloody grasp of Emperor Schreger. In Coento, the Crimson Fellworm had sealed away once more, thanks in large part to the Sword Maiden's valiant effort and Luther's quick thinking. With these looming threats dispelled, the Kingdom of Coento enjoyed a moment of hard-earned rest. In the aftermath of the Crimson Fellworm and Weyland's fall, a single peaceful week passed. Harriet took her place as Coento's new monarch. She and her retinue convened in the throne room to discuss their next steps. One among them seemed distracted. Any word from the Sword Maiden regarding the Crimson Fellworm?
Our army is keeping watch as well. They've reported no problems as of yet. The Sword Maiden herself reports that the seal looks likely to hold for the time being. As for Weyland, true peace seems a long way off. The land is still rife with castrum demonicus, but the intermittent conflicts along our border with Weyland have settled down at least.
Then let's keep preparing to send them food and resources. Helping the people of Weyland back to their feet should be our top priority.
Our own land is far from rich in such resources, my lady.
Be that as it may, if we bungle this first approach to them, the consequences will be ours to bear forever. If we scorn them for being from another country, it could spark riots. We must avoid that at all costs.
What drivel, Harriet. Don't waste your time pandering to the riffraff of other lands.
Luther, do you know what you're saying?
Words of reason, my dear sister. Do you know what will throttle all inklings of resistance? A few executions. Show them blood, and they'll fall in line. Then, we send word that if they stand down, their lives will be spared. No one would dare ignore us after seeing how we laid low the mighty
Luther!
I'm sorry. Please, forget I said anything.
Very well. We don't want to meddle in Weyland's affairs and risk causing a ruckus. We'll ask them to sort out who will rule.
Normally, the late Emperor's younger brother Elmir would succeed the throne, but he has vanished.
Luther, what's Is something the matter?
I'm not feeling well. Please excuse me and carry on, everyone.
Something about him doesn't seem right. He's not usually so aggressive, is he?
Oh, Luther.
How did this happen? I didn't create the child just for things to end up like this. Wait. If I could only become all-knowing, then I wouldn't have to stoop to such foolish madness. Why won't you respond, Shion? Are you trying to tell me that it was the only answer there could be? No! This is no solution! This is unacceptable!
Yes. Yes. My knowledge will know no bounds. And then I'll...
What's the matter, Luther? You're the one always telling me to knock. Luther. What's wrong?
Oh, Harriet. My greatest masterpiece. You don't belong in this place.
What are you... That was Harriet's voice, wasn't it?
We have to save her!
That scream! No! I'm too late!
Luther, no!
Lady Harriet! Is that Master Luther?
I'm picking up Dark Falls readings. Could using the ephemera have awakened it in him?
Stop. Him.
It's no use. I'll never hand over Harriet, my greatest masterwork, when infinite knowledge is finally mine!
Stop! No. How could this be? How could Master Luther take Lady Harriet? Right from under our noses!